He was national treasure and comedy legend, and on March 11, 2018 Britain lost its last great music hall entertainer. Ken Dodd never lived anywhere but his beloved home city of Liverpool and made the suburb Naughty Ash famous across the country. He was 26 before he got his big break when he was 26 at the Nottingham Empire and continued to tour for the rest of his life to packed-out crowds. Never one to disappoint his fans, Ken would often keep performing until long after he had been due to finish, even when he was well into his 80s. His legendary live shows even earned him place in the Guinness Book of Records for the world's longest ever joke-telling session. He managed massive 1,500 gags in 3.5 hours. As beloved of the great and good as he was with his army of fans, Ken was regular at the Royal Variety Performance. The last time he took to that prestigious stage was in 2006, when he performed in front of Prince Charles and Camilla. Less than 4 months before his death at the age of 90, Ken performed for the final time at the Echo Arena Auditorium in Liverpool. He always insisted the secret of his success was love what do, and comedy wasn't the only thing Ken could turn his hand to. He made it into the top 40 huge 18 times during his long career. He has sold millions of records throughout the world, and at the height of his fame in the 1960s his sales rivaled those of the Beatles. Ken married 2 days before his death, claiming he thought it made couples complacent. His first was with Anita Booton, who was his partner for 22 years, and he was at her bedside when she passed away from brain tumor aged just 45 in 1977. The following year Ken started a 40-year love affair with Ann Jones, who was with him when he died and inherited his entire £27.7 million fortune. However, proud Scouser until the end, Ken had one poignant final gift for the city he loved so much. He left instructions in his will that money from his fortune should be given in gifts to projects and charities in his home city. One of the beneficiaries will be St. John the Evangelist Church and Church Hall, just yards to the house in Liverpool where he lived all his life. Work has started on restoring the church clock and renovating the hall, and means it will chime again for the first time in 30 years. Anne told the Liverpool Echo, "It's lovely to see everything moving forward," and Ken would have been delighted. He loved the church, while the church hall is where he went to school. The church does have bell which can be rung before services, but it will be lovely to hear the clock chiming again. She added of the church hall project, "While it is not listed building, it is in conservation area and we need to work very closely with the appropriate authorities, and get their approval every step of the way." Rev. Julia Jesson, vicar of St. John the Evangelist, said, "People have wanted to see the clock being restored for years, and they have been putting money into fund. It's been out of action for 30 years. One of my last conversations with Ken was about the clock. He loved the church so much, and would have been so happy to see this work being done. It is mostly thanks to Ken, and we are enormously grateful. We feel humbled." There will also be cash for one of the star's favorite charities, Shakespeare North in Prescott Trust, which wants to celebrate area's Elizabethan heritage. It also aims to promote Shakespearean theatre in the region. Anne, whose husband was big fan of Shakespeare, said of the trust, "He thought this was wonderful project." She added, "Ken was also great supporter of our hospitals, and the foundation will look to help them as well as various health charities." He was always full of praise for the NHS, not least Liverpool Heart and Chest Hospital, where he was treated shortly before he died, and Clatterbridge Hospital, of which he was patron. The couple tied the knot as he faced the end, and it spared Anne lengthy legal battle over his riches. It also saved her paying 40% tax on her inheritance, which would have amounted to an £11 million bill. The decision allowed Ken to take one final swipe at HMRC following his highly publicised battle with them back in the 1980s. He was acquitted of dodging £1 million tax bill back in 1989 after officials found £336,000 in cash stuffed in suitcases in his attic at his home.